But most people don't call it that. They call it Guns Point, the hood, the streets, the trenches. And the moment I say where I'm from, I can almost hear the assumptions loading. Because apparently my zip code comes with a personality description. Gunshots, drug deals, and a girl who's probably loud, ghetto, and extra. Now, I won't lie. I may be ghetto. There are moments where I find myself saying things like, "You not talking to me." Oh, okay then, because you knew. And some of those things I named do exist and happen. I've seen things I shouldn't have had to see. I've heard things that made me grow up faster than I wanted to. But what people don't see and what I failed to realize for a time was everything else from this community. My big idea today is simple. Your streets may lay the foundation of your story, but you decide who you are. While people were busy assuming what I become, I was busy becoming more. I was excelling academically. I'm even on my way to get my associate's degree. And I put what people called too much to good use. When people called me argumentative, I joined speech and debate. I learned how to use my voice with purpose. When people called me loud or extra, I joined theater. I learned how to own my presence instead of shrinking it. And FBLA, future business leaders of America, that's where leadership really tested me. When I ran for FBLA president, I was confident in myself, but not everyone else was. One teacher assumed I was too ghetto, that I was probably too loud, and more than likely, I wasn't going to win. Basically, the expectation was clear. People like me don't usually end up in places like that. But what they didn't expect was that students weren't looking for a stereotype. They were looking for authenticity. I didn't change how I talked. I didn't change how I showed up. I didn't make myself smaller to seem more acceptable. I was just myself. And I didn't just become president. I led my team to regionals in my very first year. And some of my members even went to nationals. Imagine that. The ghetto black girl staying in all expenses paid resorts and competing. Besides that, that experience taught me something important. Sometimes people doubt you, not because you aren't capable, but because you don't look like what leadership is supposed to look like. But being loud doesn't mean unprofessional. Being from the hood doesn't mean unqualified. And authenticity is not a weakness, it is a strength. As Black people, we already grow up surrounded by stereotypes. Television tells us who we're supposed to be. Social media tells us what success should look like. And too often, we're shown as either struggling or invisible. Then you add from the hood, and suddenly people assume your future is already decided. Like once you're from there, you're supposed to stay there or something. But Greenspoint didn't teach me to stay stuck. It taught me resilience. It taught me confidence. It taught me how to walk into rooms where people underestimate me and still lead. It inspired me not to just prove people wrong, but to help others realize they don't have to become the stereotypes placed on them either. Because the truth is, sometimes you don't leave the hood physically right away, but you leave it mentally first. And once you do that, everything changes. So if you feel judged by where you are, where you're from, how you talk, and even how you show up, remember this. Your streets may shape the outline of your story, but you decide what fills the pages. You decide the direction. You decide how far you go. I'm from Greenspoint, and I'm not staying inside anyone else's expectations. I'm going exactly where I choose and how far I choose. Be who you are. Fill your pages. And that is my Aldine Black History beyond the classroom.